Hello and welcome back to the Stationary Dev. Today we have a sort of, I guess, follow-up video or companion video to one of my previous videos. And so today we're going to be looking at how to clean a cartridge converter fountain pen. Now on our last video we looked at how to clean a piston filler, so that one is up on the channel if you want to go and see that. Today we're talking about how to clean a cartridge converter though. Which are, I guess, more common, than a piston filler. Some people think they're easier to clean than a piston filler. Some people think they're harder to clean. I'm in the easier to clean camp, and so we'll see how it goes. The pen I got for today, this is actually goes by a couple names. It's either Platinum Shooting Star or Platinum Meteor. Basically, it's like a preppy equivalent, just a snap cap platinum pen. Maybe you can see the star nib there. That's why it's called the Meteor Shooting Star. But this pen has been sitting with dried ink in it for months now, so it'll be a good test of our cleaning abilities here. So the tools that you need for today, and just so you know, this is my preferred method, so people do different things and go to different lengths to clean their pens. I'm not going to be soaking or ultrasonic cleaning or using any chemicals. I'm just going to be using water and paper towels and then the few little extra tools that I have to clean out this pen. So our tools that we have is, first you need a sink, or in this case I'm at the desk, so it's going to be a cup of, or bowl of water. You make sure you use cold or room temperature water. Don't use hot water, because if you get hot water, especially if you have like a gold nib, it might, has a chance of warping the nib or, changing how it writes. So definitely use cold water or lukewarm water, and clean water. So that's important as well. You also need a blunt end syringe. This is just a 10 milliliter blunt end syringe that I got from Pen Chalet, I believe is when I got this one from. So it's a good big capacity. I can fit a lot of water in there and do some power cleaning. And then I also recommend a bulb syringe, also known as a nasal aspirator. You can pick these up at any sort of, local grocery store, big box store. They're pretty cheap and pretty available. So we have that as well. And then paper towels are your friends. So, and I'm actually going to grab real quick, because you'll see I actually have a couple of these aspirators. I have one cut down the tip so it's a little fatter, so it works better with certain pens like Platinums or Pilots that have kind of a bigger opening. So we might need this one today as well. All right, so on to the cleaning. I have a bowl for our wastewater, where our inky water will go. And then I also have an initial bowl of water, which we'll get rid of after we make a mess with it. So the first step I kind of do usually is I'll just take my pen. I usually take the barrel off, so I just have the pen, the converter. You can see there's, probably some inky stains in there. If I can get it to focus, you can see some dried ink in there, nasty. I usually just run this under the sink and just get everything kind of loosened up. Don't have a sink, so we're going to try just giving it a good swish in our water. Give it a good swish, just to kind of get the water in there, get the dried ink kind of rehydrated, or the ink moving that's left in there. And then I'm just going to work the converter, and you can kind of see the ink's already starting to come out there. But I'm just going to work the converter back and forth. This one has a cool kind of plunger action, but you'd otherwise be twisting back and forth. But I'm just going to work the converter, start sucking in some ink. And once again, at this point, we're just kind of getting things loose, rehydrating the ink that's in there. Hopefully you can see that it's working. So we have water moving in there. It's coming blue. So the ink that was left in here was some Monteverde Sapphire, blue. And it got nice and dried over months of being empty and in my to clean pile. So I mean, it's starting to get clearer, starting to get more consistent. We've worked out a lot of those dried ink globs now. So I'm comfortable moving on to the next step, which for me is just get some of that, as much of that water out as we can. I'm just going to remove the converter, and the next thing we're going to look at is washing out sort of that feed there. So we're going to wash out all around the feed where the converter connects, because a lot of ink will get sort of trapped there and dried there in that section there. And to do that, we can just I usually just run it under the faucet. We're going to use some water here, but we'll get it a little bit better. We'll get it a little bit better when we use our syringe to really get that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to some cleaner water. We've got this Plenty Blue, and we're going to go to some clean water and start using our wastewater bucket. Got that. Move it a little closer so you can see. Next step is I'm going to pick the applicable bulb syringe. It's going to be my scientific term that will fit best in here. Now this has a little bit of a longer section, but I think we're going to need the cutoff one. So that's why I have a couple different sizes of cutoff. So this is like my Pilot and Platinum cutoff one, which, as you can see, works really well to just get right on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to suck up some clean water, stick it in there, hold it like so, and literally we're just flushing it out, like power washing this nib. Give it a proper power washing. I'll kind of go all sides, and you can see a lot of ink is still coming out of this pen. And what I'll do is I'll do this until the water comes out clear, so I'm not getting big blotches of ink coming out. You can kind of do it varying speeds. You don't have to go super power all the time, but that helps. And this is just to get anything that's left lodged in there going and out of there, and we can clean up a little bit more detail with our blunt syringe next. Because you can kind of see there's some ink around sort of the nib right here that's still blue, but we'll get that in a minute. All right, and this is about good. Might do it one more time real quick, just with a little bit. All right, there we go. So we still have some ink around in there, and we can be a little more thorough, but I'm not really gonna worry with it right now. Okay, so there's our sort of section so far with just the rinsing out and the bulb syringe. Next thing is I'm gonna sort of get detailed with the blunt syringe, because we can fit this in some more places where we couldn't fit the rest of the stuff. So specifically, like I mentioned, around the feed here, we're gonna get that going. And if you can, sometimes you can actually fit it sort of into the feed, and get water moving through there. Next thing, what I kind of get, this has a lip kind of around here where I see some ink is getting, so I'm gonna get there too. And this is just feed and section sort of detailing that we're doing. Sorry, you might not be able to see super well. Now, you zoom in a little bit. Now we're going to get sort of, I'm going to try to get like a round in between the nib and the feed right here in the little gap. So usually if it has a breather hole, I'll sort of shoot some water through the breather hole. But this pin doesn't have a breather hole, so we are going to have to get creative and go around it. All right, so I'm going to just try to shoot some water in there. Do the other side. Just try to get anything that's dried up in the feed. There we go, that's a good spot. I saw some ink moving. I'm going to do that one more time. All right, I'm making a much bigger mess this time than I did with my piston filler. But this is a job I usually do at the sink and can whip it real quick. I don't have to worry about making a mess. All right, I'm gonna do one more time with the bulb syringe, and then I think this is gonna be about as good as I need it to be. And we're going to just blow some air through there. Just try to get as much water as we can out, which will save us on drying time, really. All right. Do that. I want to get some paper towel, and this is a trick I have to kind of help it dry quicker. I'm just going to grab the nib there, and I'm going to blow with the bulb syringe. And of course, you're going to get some water and some inky bits coming out. We are just, think of it like taking a leaf blower, kind of. All right, I might do up a little bit to help the gravity. And so that's pretty good. You can go farther, but I mean, this is a really cheap pen. I'm not too worried about it. So I'm really good with that. I'm good to, you know, ink it up again or leave it like that. So we got a cleaner section. Now the easier part is going to be the converter, which we'll just use our syringe for, a blunt syringe. I'm going to try to speed this up because it's really easy. You just put your syringe in there and blow some water through, and you can see that cleaning out super easy. Woo! Do it with some air. One more of those and the converter should be good. Doing this without making a mess is proving to be interesting. Now this is one problem I have with these converters with the ball, is that it's going to create a vacuum there. So it's not going to let me push out water. So I kind of have to do it upside down. Get out all the water there. All right, and there's our clean converter, our clean section and feed. I'll do it one more time with this just to make sure we get anything that we worked loose. and I'm happy with that. So that's about all I do. So you can, at this point, you can either sort of let it dry overnight, put it sort of nib down in some paper towel, or just go ahead and re-ink it, because as you can see, it's got clear water running through. It's dry. So I'm happy with that. That's usually all I do for my cartridge converters. Now you can take the converter apart on a lot of converters. You can unscrew the converter. This one's a little different, but most of them you can unscrew, and I usually don't do that unless there's like a lot of ink behind the piston. So I usually don't worry about that, but that's about as far as I'll go for today. So we got a clean pin. If you have any questions or comments or anything on like any other content that you'd like to see, make sure to leave a comment and let me know, and I can definitely get back with you or try to do something there. If you did enjoy this video or want to see more videos like this about fountain pens, inks, papers, stationery, anything like that, make sure to give a like and subscribe. It's a free and easy way to help out the channel and help out fountain pen content get promoted. So, and it also lets you know when I release new videos. So I'm releasing new pen content every single week, and it'll let you know when I got a new video out for that. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.